Hi, this is Sifu Steve here at Classical Martial Arts of Long Island. And I want to talk to you a little bit about aspects of the martial arts, and always invite any of you to come down to Classical Martial Arts of Long Island. Come on down, come try our different types of classes. And we give you everybody 2 weeks free trial. You could come try it out and see if you like it. And there's a variety of different things, something for everybody, something for every age bracket. So check us out at classicalma.com. But nonetheless, let's talk a little bit about historically the different components of the martial arts. Because the moment we say the word martial art in English, we're thinking about fighting, inevitably. And not that we shouldn't be. But if we look at the traditional terminology, especially the traditional Chinese terminology, there's different parts to this thing that gets referred to as martial arts. One part of it is what's called wushu. And traditionally, wushu means martial skills. The skills of warriors, the skills of fighters. Okay. Well, there's another term called wushui, which means martial studies, often translated also as military studies. And those are studies about how the military or the martial artist comports himself. Those are rules that are borderline philosophical. When to act, when not to act. What strategy? How to lay a trap. How to use espionage to find out what to do. How to lay in wait. How to judge the weather. How to judge the weather in terms of when to act. Even how to build a bridge. How to build a wall. That's all wushu, martial studies. Part of martial arts in the traditional world. Not necessarily what you find in martial arts school now. Additionally, there's what's called Wu Dao, which means the martial Dao, the martial path, the martial way. Well, that's the part often associated with the temples, with the philosophy, with the aspect of understanding of self, to attain Wu De, martial virtue. Because the word Wu, which we translate as martial, also is translated as action. Meaning, Wu De, martial virtue, is virtues in action. Virtues as you apply them in the world. Virtues when you are pressed by someone else who's not acting so virtuously. If you can hold your virtue against that pressure test, you have higher virtue. You have attained shangde, high virtue. Because if you're wu de, your martial virtue, or your virtue under pressure. Those are all terms that we relate to the martial arts. And additionally, right, there's wu yi, which is martial art, meaning artistry. The word yishu in Chinese means art, fine art. And that is martial fine art. You say, what's martial fine art? Painting? Not exactly, but performance art. Because martial skills, martial art skills, were used to put on performances. They were part of the Jingji, the Beijing opera, part of what's called the wuxia, the martial tradition. And they were very stylized fighting. Like we would say theater fighting, like in Shakespeare, theater fighting. And they would have performances, and it'd be dynamic. Kind of like you'd be watching a superhero movie. You'd be watching the Avengers. You'd be like, and it looks so cool, and it looks so real. But it's staged, and you know that. But it's okay, because it's exciting. Well, that's true also. You see stage performances or street performances, and they would put on these performances, and you'd be like, it was so exciting. And that's okay. But those performers might have been premier athletes who could jump and kick and spin and handle weapons in ways that were so believable. And everyone loved that. Okay, that's all part of the traditional martial arts. As well as aspects where we call it in Chinese martial arts, call it gong fu, the merit of practice. That's what that word means. It doesn't really mean martial skills. It means the merit of practice. And it means that you've practiced something so many times it led you to some grander understanding. So therefore, if you're a monk or a priest or just a very philosophical or spiritual person, and you're doing deep meditations, reflections, prayers, you come up against yourself, against your attitudes, against your behaviors, against regret for what you did or what you didn't do. And then you got to deal with that. And dealing with that is dealing with the hardest, most constant challenge. It's dealing with yourself. And so the practice of martial routines, of martial skills, often unknots those emotions and gives you a catharsis, a release of emotion when you're fighting yourself. Kind of like, if you remember, in one of the Star Wars movies, where the great hero, Luke Skywalker, has to go and face himself in almost an image that he's directed to by his teacher Yoda. Same idea. You come against yourself. You have to deal with yourself if you're seeking deep spiritual benefit. And the martial arts provided a tool in the traditional temples for that to be sought, as well as health promotion. Because time and gravity comes after all of us. There's a whole body of martial arts that's known as Yangsheng, nourishing of life, nourishing the life force. So all of that together is the martial arts. So next time you think about it, think broadly. And if you want to come try some of that, come down to Classical Martial Arts. We'd love to see you on the mat. Have a great day.